What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion. I got my good buddy Michael here, and this is our second episode of After Ride. And if you watched our previous videos, we took the Aprilia RSV4 and the Tuono V4 1100 factory, both of them, for a ride, just to do a side-by-side comparison. And also, on the previous video to this, we also took the GSXR 1000, our project bike, for its first ride. I think it's been about 15 years that I've ridden a GSXR of any kind, and we're going to talk about these. And also there's some really cool news items that I want to share with Michael that I haven't shared yet, because I think there's some jaw-dropping stuff that I want to see what he thinks of it. And if you guys are tuning in for the first time, Michael Knight's my good buddy. He's actually a very talented rider, much more talented than me, so that's why we included him in the After Ride section, because I do really appreciate his opinion. And also we know him as the BMW fanboy, and some of you guys know me as the Ducati fanboy, so it gives it a good mix so that it's not just me who is talking about these bikes. And I'm going to go ahead and right away start off with the RSV4 and the Tuono V4 1100 factory. And right away I'll ask you, which one would you pick for the type of riding that we did, right? Because it's similar to what you do with your own bike.
It's there's a maybe different conversation to start with. I would say, is it your only bike or do you have more of them? You know? Because if it's the only bike,
you can't have. Let's start with, you can't have both. Doesn't matter what bikes you have, you can't have both.
No,
the
but
bikes.
like, you know, if I can have my ex-Diavel, or if I can have something more comfortable.
No, let's say it's your only. It's the reality is most of us only have one.
If it's the only bike, if it's just one bike, of course I would foresee any city rides. If I don't live, you know, like somewhere where I have like huge open road, just, you know, that I can go and use that speed all the time, that for all the cities the Tuono is better. But the reality is that we have more bikes, and you know, for me personally, I would choose the RSV4 because of, I don't know, I told you when we were riding on the Senna, like on the Tuono, I'm missing the respect from the motorcycle, you know, like I'm sitting on the RSV4 and it has already like wild power going crazy, you know, when you pull on it, like it's like I'm sitting on a beast or something, you know? And when I sit on the Tuono, it's not a beast. It's like very comfortable, nice, you know, like I'm sitting like here, going around, super cool. Of course, it has plenty of power for most of the people to riding anywhere in the city, but I'm riding sport bikes or like any of these bikes because I want that adrenaline, I want that feeling from it, you know, and that feeling I'm getting from the RSV4, not from the Tuono.
Yeah, so I think that
was pretty significant.
Yes, the difference, the power difference
wasn't little.
So the Tuono 1100 doesn't feel slow, but when you compare it to the RSV4, the difference in power is evident, like big time.
Like it's huge.
Yeah, it's not very little. I mean, yeah, you were kind of crazy, right? You're much younger than me, and that's expected for that kind of thought process, for you to say that you need to have more speed. But for us older people, I think the Tuono is fast enough.
I don't think so. For the whole time of riding, I went faster, really maybe once on the RSV4 than I went on the Tuono. It's not really the top speed or something that you really wanted to go faster. It's then just the acceleration and the responsiveness, like you cannot hit it like whatever, you know, so you have to control it. You cannot go crazy because the bike is crazy.
And one thing and one thing that we saw was also the throttle. So we don't know if it's the tunes. Both bikes have different tunes. The RSV4 is on a Brembo tuning, and the Tuono is on a Gabbro flash. And again, we don't know if this is the difference between the tunes, which it could be, because you could artificially change the responsiveness of the throttle. But the RSV4 definitely is more responsive to the throttle, especially at the lights where we are trying to rev it, let's say. And
like first 10% of the throttle is like super sharp, and on the Tuono it's like sluggish.
I love rides like this because back-to-back rides, it's right away that there's stuff that hits you. And I think one thing that was, for me, that was extremely noticeable was the QuickShifter. It is, and it's not just the way that it's shifting, but it's the feeling that you get from the pedal when you press it. And just a note, if you guys didn't watch the ride video, both the bikes are on extremely similar setup in terms of rear sets, so we could rule that out as the rear sets. But the Tuono has the Gilly Stooling shifter support and also the Cordona QuickShifter, and the RSV4 doesn't have any of that, just has the same rear sets. And I can't believe how big of a difference that those two parts on the QuickShifters made. That was very evident. The brakes also, so Michael, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you were saying that you actually prefer the modulation of the Tuono, but for me also another big difference was that the RSV4, the only difference that we see is the style lemma calipers. The brakes are much more immediate in terms of responsiveness and directness.
The first bite.
Yes.
The first bite, but when you go like fast enough and you try to brake harder and harder, then they are not like bad brakes, any of them. They are very good,
course.
just they feel a little different. So the initial bite is, you know, on the RSV4 a little different than on the Tuono.
Yeah, we're going to get to the bad brakes because that's a topic.
Later. But I just wanted to say, like, when I sit on the RSV4, or when we were leaving and I sit on the RSV4, the body positioning, I didn't ride it for maybe like a year or so. So it's not that bad, it's not that aggressive, it's not that uncomfortable. I think the V4s, Panigale V4s, they are way more uncomfortable than the RSV4.
Yeah, it's more aggressive. You're more over the handlebar.
On the Panigales.
And yeah, but this bike, so this bike is lower, so we don't know how the rake is effective with it, but on the Panigale V4, it's a much more aggressive, at least the SP2 that we had here, which we no longer have here. The SP2 definitely is a very aggressive riding position, but on the V4R, it's actually very reminiscent of the RSV4. Going to that also, the big difference that I saw between the Tuono and the RSV4 is that RSV4 generates more heat under the seat. It's nothing comparable to the Ducatis. On the Tuono, you don't feel heat at all. Yeah. On the RSV4, it was warm, but that's, again, it's nothing to complain about. I see a lot of you guys have commented when we got the Tuono about the heat, but definitely there's no heat. We were today 80-something degrees here in Florida, and both bikes did actually really well. It was pretty pleasant. I mean, we went through highway and some city riding, nothing to complain about with either bike in terms of those two things. One surprise was that we don't know if it's because the RSV4 is lower. Low speed, it's more nimble, which I wouldn't expect.
You see, I almost forgot, yeah, of course. I told you, when I went to ride and I took the RSV4 first, and I told you, like, okay, sit on it and tell me how it feels for you, because Manny, it's the biggest hater of like lower and stretched bikes and everything, so he don't like the RSV4 when it's lowered like that. But I didn't say anything, and I told him, just sit on it and tell me how it feels, you know, and just turn left and right quick. And he was like, oh, it's not that bad. Of course it's not that bad, it's actually very good. It's definitely more nimble than the Tuono in the lower speed.
Yeah, but 100%. Do you think it's the bike being lowered?
Could be. Could be. Maybe. I don't know when is the last time I rode the RSV4 and it was like stock height, because I was riding the old RSV4 was EICMA RSV4.
That was lower too, I think.
No,
right?
the first one, the 2019 one, there wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But it's so long ago that we don't remember it.
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to grab my phone because we also have the GSXR 1000 to talk about. But before that, we'll get into some of the news. And unfortunately, I'm going to tell you why, but I cannot show you what I'm showing to Michael, but we're going to talk about it because there is something very special upcoming, and it's a little jaw-dropping. Like, I want to show it to Michael, and we'll tell you what it is. If we can find some images to show you, or if by the time that we're filming this video, that news is out, then maybe sign some legal paperwork this time so that I don't show it to you guys like we did some other times. We showed you some stuff. But just give me a second. Let me grab my phone. Let me show it to Michael. He'll be on camera because we want to get his exact thoughts about it. And then we'll get back on the discussion. Okay, I got my phone, guys. And I'll tell you what it is. So last time around, we leaked out the 2025 Panigale V4 and V4S before it was released. We had the info, but it was 24 hours right before we decided to leak it. And very nicely, Ducati contacted us the next morning right away saying, hey, could you please take this off of your social media? That video was going crazy because it was nowhere else before that. And
I remember the comments, they were like, there's no way this is how it's gonna look.
Yeah, people didn't believe us that when we put it up.
AI.
I was sitting right there, and the 2025 was right there. Go check out the video if you don't believe us. But so this time around, again, I get to see a Ducati but this time, when I looked at it, it actually had a whole lot of jargon of legal stuff that made me accept it before I saw it. But I think I could show it to you. So let me get on this. Let me open this up for him.
I'm gonna paint it and leak it.
You could. I mean, the people don't believe us anyways when we show them stuff.
Sign below Motomillion.
Okay, so I'll show you this.
Ooh.
But wait, it gets better, you know? It's not just the images, so what is it? I should mention it to the people what he's looking at. It's the new 2025 Panigale V4 Tricolore that's coming out. I think I had also mentioned on the video that there's going to be a Tricolore coming out. It's limited to 163 units. It is basically a 2025 Panigale V4 with a very cool paint job. And it's more than Tricolore because there's 4 colors. There's blue, red, white, and green. And here, it's 163 units. You could actually grab my phone, but scroll down. I want to show you something first. This is the jaw-dropping part.
Oh my God. No, but there must be something else.
No, it's basically the new SP2 of the 2025 Panigale V4. Dry clutch, Öhlins suspension, carbon fiber brakes. Sorry, not carbon fiber brakes, carbon fiber wheels. With a very pretty looking livery, $85,000, and that's what it said wow to.
That's crazy, 85,000.
Yeah, I know. And doesn't come with the race exhaust. It has the Akrapovic big bulky Euro 6 exhaust, not even the underbody Akrapovic race exhaust. I mean, it's very, very attractive, guys. When you see it, you'll see it if it's before this video when it was released. But this is kind of the big news right now because there's a lot of new releases coming up. And I wasn't expecting this, but...
Why is it showing only, like, I don't know, this is the normal numbers, 209 horsepower at 12,750 RPM?
Actually, 2 powers, I don't know. Maybe one is with the race exhaust.
This is a European, no. It says USA, Mexico, you know, is the last.
Oh, so the US bike makes less power.
US bike make 7 horsepower less, but 12,750 RPM sounds low.
I don't know.
S1000 goes 15, 14 and a half.
Look, I told you guys, it's crazy. He's looking at the peak power.
No, but come on, you're buying $85,000 motorcycle. I wanted to have 300 horsepower at least, you know? it's $85,000.
But it's very pretty.
It's super pretty.
Should we do this? Wait, I'm gonna do this. Because you can't really see it. It has my name plastered all over it, guys.
No, don't take it. I cannot, like...
It's really, really pretty, right?
Yeah, it's super nice.
I'm telling you, it's nothing special. Dry clutch, carbon wheels.
It's like a race livery, you know?
Yeah.
You know what is my favorite livery, right?
No.
The FE. The 1299 FE.
Of course.
That's not like a race livery. It's
that's
like
the green and red. It's like a tricolore.
It's like a tricolore, like a real tricolore, but it's more like street and cool and nice.
We can't show. I don't think I could show them this. Oops, my phone turned around when I showed it to you. But so this is
slipped.
Yes, it slipped. So this was the crazy thing that I told you while we were riding that I said I'm not going to come and tell you what it is.
But are there any other info about it? Like what is the difference? Because the normal
it's basically an SP2 of.
Is it?
Yeah, it's same idea of an SP2. Electronic Öhlins suspension, dry clutch, and mind you, the dry clutch.
Carbon wheels.
Carbon wheels, that's it,
okay.
And a livery. So when I looked at the dry clutch, I actually zoomed into the picture to see the dry clutch is actually the full-size dry clutch and not the smaller one that the V4R gets, which is not a bad thing because if you take a look at it, the V4R dry clutches, the 2024 and 2023 V4R ones, people are going through clutches and a basket. So it becomes a $1,700 or $2,700 job as opposed to the SP2's the bigger one or the older V4R's bigger dry clutch. You just change the clutch packs, $300 and you're good to go. So
I just still thinking about the low RPM.
Yeah, because we have to.
Not. The SP2 was still 1100 cc, right? And And had what, peak power, or like they were
We could
showing
look it up.
14,000, no?
Was it? Let's take a look. What was the... Let's look at the power figures of
Or
the
maybe
SP2.
maybe they were showing it just because after the 12,000 the power drops, and that's the peak power. But it revs up to whatever, maybe 14.
215 horsepower at 13,000 RPM.
So that one was what, 12.7?
Yeah, but don't... Yeah, that was 12.7 and 209.
209.
So I don't know if this is a US spec or if this is the...
But even the EU spec was 216.
Oh, US spec is 208. Yeah,
There's
so...
not improvement of the engine, like the engine
No,
is
the
the
engine
same.
is... Yeah, they said that there's some electronics, so it's the same. 215.5 is 216 and
Yeah.
one more horsepower for US.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's a software difference between the Euro bikes and the American bikes, because the exhaust is not going to be. I think it's probably software, which
Maybe.
I wonder if there's even a way of just uploading the European software on the bike.
No idea.
EICMA is coming up. We are filming this in October of 2024. November is going to be EICMA. Luckily, I'm going to be there. We'll do some specials over there for you guys. And I don't even know what to expect from EICMA, because there might be a new Panigale V2 that was going to be launched. And I'm afraid to say that they say it's a mix of between a super sport and a Panigale V2 superbike. So the Ducati Super Sport and a Panigale V2 mixed together, which would be...
I hope they're not gonna give him the handlebars.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of. Because the Panigale V2, again, unfortunately that bike is gone as well from us, but I had so much fun. You rode it last time around.
Yeah, I had fun on it as well.
Surprisingly fun. Oh yeah, BMW, by the way. So let's leak this information out. There's an update coming for the S1000RR, and my sources are telling me, so this might be an M upgrade, but there's going to be some sort of a active aero on the bike that they're talking about for the M1000RR or the S1000RR. There's going to be some changes to the swing arm that is going to be made, but there's some sort of a updated S1000RR coming. I think it's going to be more of an update than a full-on refresh. By the way, did you see the new R1? There's a 2025
yeah,
R1.
so with the
Winglets,
with the
yeah.
Huge winglets.
Yeah.
It
They're
looked
cool.
cool, you know, but it's
Factory
not,
winglets.
Yeah, but it's, you know, like
There's
a
a-
little update, right? Like the R1 didn't change since what, 2016. It's
No,
also
but
crazy.
the 2015. But the
15, yeah.
2015 was the R1 as we know it. 2020 got an updated bodywork and a couple other things. And next year, 2026, I believe, is going to be the big refresh, is what they said. It's been confirmed by Yamaha. They told us a year ago. We told some of you guys who are watching, and we can't wait to see it. But
maybe
we'll
they're
see.
gonna do V4 engine,
That's the question I asked. So
because the MotoGP is kind of confirmed, right? Like that the Yamaha's gonna run for next season V4 engine.
but it's an 800cc engine. Don't forget. So it's going to be a complete, because
Is it the next season is already?
2027.
So I think the next season they were saying something
Oh.
that they're gonna run
I don't know.
V4 engine.
I thought maybe for 2027 they're going to do because the rules are changing for MotoGP guys. The bikes are a leader bike right now. Obviously, they have nothing to do with the road bikes. That's what World Superbike is. But Yamaha's been falling behind because of their inline. They're the only ones who are not using a V4. They're using an inline 4. And there's big rumors that they're going to switch to a V4. But I guess Michael is saying that they're going to switch next year before the big rule change of 800cc bikes. But that'd be great to see, because they'll be sooner the better to have more competition against the Ducatis, because they hands down are doing crazy things, and it's almost end of the season, and now it's almost confirmed that it's either Pecco Bagnaia or Jorge Martin that's going to win the championship. I'm rooting for Jorge Martin to win. He was rooting for Marquez, but I guess his bike caught fire.
It's just amazing to root for Marquez because many hates him, you know. So I'm already saying it like, you see, he won, or he.
Well, I am wearing a Valentino Rossi shirt for a reason.
He went 10 places up, and he's like, oh, it's gonna crash. Watch.
No, I always say it. He's a good rider,
Yeah.
but he's not a good racer in my books. So obviously he's very, very talented, but it's Jorge Martin. He's a Spaniard, so it's a Spanish guy. Mm-hmm. So thinking of big surprises, because Michael is surprised about this tricolore that I showed him. The big surprise of today was the GSXR 1000, right?
Yeah, it was. You know, like, we all understand what GSXR is. You know, we never doubted it in case of power, or you know, I never thought that it's gonna be slow or something. Like we know all those street racers, many of them using as a base Gixxers, you know, and
I think they're also
fast.
light. We should put them on the scale.
We didn't, but you know, what would I expect? But can we put it between premium motorcycles? No. You know, it's
but you don't have to. It's it's $16,324 MSRP. I bet you could get some money off of that.
Yeah.
And when I was riding on the video, again, if you guys watched that ride video, it is the bargain super bike.
Definitely, like the bike is. I was surprised, and you were surprised. Both of us were surprised, like how fast it is. Like we all, when you sit on the new BMW, you came out with the S1000RR. It's like crazy restricted. You hit first gear, second gear, it doesn't do anything, you know, and then it wakes up. This thing doesn't feel like any restriction. It just actually goes like crazy, and it's completely stocked with trash can with except exhaust, you know. It's like it's huge exhaust, and it was actually fast. But the bike has Nintendo except dashboard, you know, like instead of a dashboard, like it's the dashboard is
it's a big Nintendo,
it's from 1992. There are wooden brakes over there, you know. You have to have an anchor with you, you know, to stop because the front brakes.
The brakes
are
so the bike is surprisingly good. The brakes are surprisingly horrible. Pardon my language for that. Yes, the
QuickShifter was like amazing. Probably was the QuickShifter, I don't know, better than BMW QuickShifter stock.
No. BMW has the best QuickShifter, I think.
The one that I had.
I think
I had the 2020. You know, it wasn't that good. It was spring-loaded.
Yeah,
you know?
so spring-loaded, yes. But QuickShifter, in terms of functionality, I think BMW has it hands down. But this one, the feel is amazing. It works pretty good.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Ducati's QuickShifter.
I love it because it's like super short and like super precise.
Effortless.
Like you don't need to go like crazy. It's like you just touch it and it shifts. It's super nice. And it shifts very fast. It doesn't like, it's not like a you know, it's like.
Because also some bikes, even on lower speeds, when you shift, it bucks the bike. And this was, I think that was the GSXR 1000 was extremely surprising, but another big surprise of it was actually the QuickShifter was. I was like, I was expecting it to be, judging by that screen that it has, again, it's not bad, but compared to the competition, it's light years behind. So, but it's an electronic piece, right? So you think QuickShifter is electronic and it's going to be horrible, but holy cow, that QuickShifter was good, but holy cow, the brakes are.
The brakes were like Harley brakes. You know, like,
and that's not a good thing to say.
That's not a good thing to say.
On a Harley, if you ever ride a Harley, which I really say everyone should go ride a Harley, they are special bikes, they are fun bikes. Michael doesn't agree, but they're kind of laughably archaic and bad in terms of technicalities, but they're quite fun. But the brakes are horrible. If you ever get on a Harley, remember, use your rear brake as well because the bike's not going to stop.
It's different. Riding a Harley, it's like, I don't know, it's like we're riding horses and Harley, it's a camel. You know, it's different. It's not a.
Now the people who like camels are going to come and put bad comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some people think camels are better.
For 4 Harleys. You know?
I don't know if you noticed, it has rubber brake lines.
But I don't know if it was because of the rubber brake lines, but
no, like, it's everything, I think.
I don't know.
It's got Brembo calipers.
It was crazy. Like we normally brake with 1 finger. Okay, when you wants to brake, we brake with 2 fingers. But this was like not 2 fingers. It was 2 fingers, and my forehead was like swelling. You know, it's like, what's going on? Actually,
that was the first comment I made. We left here. There is maybe 200 feet away, there's the set of lights, the lights turn red. I went for the brakes, I got properly scared. I was like, holy cow, because I usually brake with 1 finger on all the bikes that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't change the brakes or the master cylinders on the Tuono, neither the RSV4. I mean, the bleeding is right. I think they're both on, no, the RSV4 is not on the T-drives, but we could brake with 1 finger on those bikes.
Most of the bikes, even stock, we're not talking about the new changing crazy setup.
I had to go for full on. I was like, oh my goodness, this is not stopping. And I don't think it doesn't even feel like it's air in the brakes. It's just that the brakes
feels
don't
like
work.
a wooden pads. Like it feels like the pads are not grabbing. You're just putting pressure on it, and they just keep sliding.
But also, you put pressure in there. You could still put more pressure. So on other bikes, if there's bad pads, it's not going to travel as much. This is just, you're just pulling it, not stopping. You're like, okay, we're not going to stop.
And it's definitely not with the bleeding, you know. For sure, someone's gonna say in the comment like you don't know how to bleed it or something.
But the bike is new. I hope Suzuki bled it, but
no, it's bled correctly because it has a pressure right away, and then nothing, sponginess.
I felt that. So I think Herman's behind the camera. But when we were loading that bike behind the trailer, I went for the brakes, and you could feel pushing the bike how bad the brakes are. So that shows you how bad the brakes are. You're pushing it. You're expecting the bike to brake when you're braking, and it's not working. But luckily, I think we're going to fix that. And
I think we're going to like that bike.
I'm already sold. 16,324. That's so. I think everything has a price point, right?
Yeah.
And the price. When I ordered the 2025 Panigale V4S, they called me. It was the first time I actually got called by Ducati to confirm, because if you guys don't know, if you order a bike from Ducati, and if it's a bike that has a hype around it, they'll call you to verify it. Even when I ordered the SP2, before the SP2 was even released, they never called to verify, because the dealers are not allowed to order these bikes and get allocations unless they have a real customer. And in this case, I got a call, picked up, luckily I picked up, and they're like, hey, is this Manny? I'm like, yes. Did you order a Ducati Panigale V4, the 2025 model, through Ducati Miami? I'm like, yes, and that was the conversation. And they asked about the price. Do you know the price? At the time I said no. They said the S model is $33,900 and the regular model is $28,000 something, which I was like, okay, it doesn't matter, you know. It's we have to get it. We have to have it here. And $33,900. Is it? Judging by the Panigale V4 of 2024 or whatever you've been exposed to, is the GSXR 1000 half the bike?
But it's the different customers.
No. Let's put the customers aside. But is it half the bike? Because this question comes up with me quite often.
What is half the bike? What do you want from the bike to do? Do you want to go to a coffee shop and tell everybody, oh,
no,
but
is it half the fun? No, it's not. It definitely is not half the fun.
Yeah. Riding, of course not. The riding, 99% of the street riders, even us or even me, you know, is like, we're not gonna use that performance of even the GSXR.
Put some good brakes on it, put an exhaust on it.
Yeah,
that bike is gonna be
like whenever. Yeah, we're gonna clean it up. You're gonna have nice tail. I like the tail. The tail is like very skinny and small at the end, and yeah, nice exhaust. Remove all those turn signals and everything over there. You know, make it nice. The only thing that's gonna be ugly over there is the dashboard. Everything else is gonna be beautiful.
Oh, so there's an upgraded dashboard that you could get. So a lot of you guys commented on our reveal video that there's actually, I think, a Motec or an AIM dash.
How much it cost?
I don't know.
2, 3?
It's okay. Motomillion's paying for it. So.
No, you know, it's like, because it's all about the price. Of course, if you want, I put their full race, whatever. I don't know, whatever I can.
Yeah.
But, you know,
but I mean, at least for people, there's the option. So this is a good thing that maybe on the phase 1 of this build, we could take a look to see, can we build a budget super bike that's not going to make you miss these crazy exotic, because we kind of call it an exotic. When a bike is $33,900, it goes into the category of exotic. And I don't know if people are going to buy it though.
There is no way when you like just like a real rider, and the pleasure that you're gonna get is from the riding, not from showing off. That if you buy a GSXR and you make it nice, that you're gonna miss anything compared to BMW or the Ducati or something. I don't think so. Like if you really the rider.
I was having this conversation.
Because you have it with the cars, you know. You wanted to buy a Civic Type R, you know.
Yeah.
So it's the same
feels
thing.
Different.
Feels different. You know, it's not like premium car. People can buy GT3 RS, you know, or whatever Ferraris, but you want Civic Type R because you want to drive it, and it's like you enjoy the driving it and the feeling of those cars, and each of it is different and everything. But that's when the drive or the ride gives you pleasure or like happiness, you know. If you want to show off, yes, you're not showing off with the Civic Type R. You know, that's
I mean,
same way, like you're not gonna show off or with the Gixxer probably with the coffee shop on Sunday afternoon in Miami. You know, you don't.
Well, we're different. I think we're different in that sense, right? For us, it doesn't matter what we ride because we actually really like the pleasure of riding, and that's why we could have this conversation, because this is so interesting to us. And part of me, and I'm going to confess this, before we got this bike, I was really, the Gixxer was off the radar for us. That was like, it would never be on my book of let me go try to ride it or let's get it in here.
Yeah, because it's not in that premium segment of the motorcycles, and we are spoiled and we're riding only those, right? When is the last time I rode ZX10? It's only because when I was jockeying for EP, you know?
So, good question, right? Good point, a ZX10.
Yeah.
So when I first rode the ZX10, I wasn't this surprised.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm very surprised with the Gixxer because I think I would pick this, again, it's been a little while, but I would pick this over a ZX10R. Maybe it's also the looks, because the ZX10R's looks are, the front end of that bike it's hard to get used to.
Maybe I would pick it too. I don't know. It will be a hard decision.
But you know, imagine I don't know the price of the ZX10R off the top of my head, but I want to check since I have my phone here. But the dash is nothing special on that bike.
It's not.
The QuickShifter is definitely nothing like this because we would have 100%. The brakes are not as bad, but they're still bad on the ZX10. I remember the brakes. I was surprised of the brakes on that one too. But this is kind of not acceptable because this is a quick bike. Not that the ZX10R is not, but these brakes are definitely the low point of the bike, and it's got enough speed, more than enough speed. It almost should be illegal for it to leave the showroom like this.
I think the excitement from just me riding it up and down, if I'm just trying to remember everything that I rode the stock ZX10, and I do like the Gixxer more. Yeah,
ZX10 is $1,000 more. And that's a non-ABS. If you want the ABS, it's $2,000 more.
Does this have ABS?
I think these have ABS. But that definitely, so I think the GSXR is definitely the king of bargain.
Budget super bikes.
Yeah. Budget super, I think so. I think your BMW, when I rode your S1000RR, I said it's king of practicality because that bike has everything. Yeah. You know, for someone like you who needs to have cruise control, you really use it. I would never use it.
I use it all the time. I was looking for it right now, like on the RSV4 because it has it, but I didn't know how to turn it on.
Oh, it has cruise control?
Yeah, it looks
I didn't know that. You see, that's how much I know. So
it looks like it has it. You know, I was just like pressing everything. I am not familiar with the Aprilia buttons just on short rides.
And that's what we're doing also on the Gixxer 1000. When we first got on it, the traction control is so intrusive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that you're going to spin the tires when it's going crazy. And we were doing that as well. One other thing that I want to mention is the looks of that Tuono V4, right?
I think it looks so much better with the white wheel in the front. Like, crazy difference.
I said it when we were riding it. I preferred to ride the Tuono, but when I was riding the RSV4, it wasn't too bad because I could at least see the Tuono because that bike is looking so good. It made me really happy that we did the white and black, and the bike just looks amazing.
Wait when you're gonna put the seat cover on it.
Yeah.
It's gonna make it even nicer.
Yeah, it's missing that. We also have a seat cover coming up for it, and I mean, look at it. The bikes look, all of them look good, but this thing looks so exceptionally well that we keep looking around to take a look at it to see how good that bike looks. And I think that's pretty much it, you know. If you guys haven't watched the ride videos, go ahead and watch it. And if you haven't seen the reveal video of the GSXR 1000, we're going to do it very differently. If you guys watch any of our builds, we kind of go over above and beyond with these builds. And since GSXR was off our radar, and it's really not our target market, let's say, because maybe we're not known for the Gixxer 1000s and what we do with them, it's going to really help us if you guys who are Gixxer fans, you want to see the Gixxer on the channel, like these videos, comment down below and show us the love for the Gixxer 1000, because the more engagement we have with you guys is going to help us to really, really put our efforts into the Gixxer 1000, because the sky's the limit. We could do all-in suspension. Definitely we're going to do the Brembo brakes, because that bike it already has Brembos, it needs upgraded brakes, but also the TFT gauges. You know, we could do a lot of things. Almost everything that we do to all the other bikes is available for this Gixxer 1000. but we don't want to feel like we're wasting our time modifying a Gixxer 1000 to that degree that you guys are not going to appreciate it, because we do really, really appreciate your comments, your likes. And even though we're not making money off of YouTube, guys, it's our revenue is not through YouTube, it's just for the love of bikes. And thankfully most of this stuff is sponsored by Motomillion, that we're able to do this. But I think that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I think the next ride and after ride is going to be the Hypermotard 698 Mono. I really want to see, Michael on it, because he loves popping wheelies. He actually popped a very nice wheelie on the Tuono V4 that it was even a pleasure to see, because it went up so smooth. And
yeah, it was the first gear, just like through the city.
Just the first gear, you see. So that's it, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, have a good one.
Now we need to go back to work to afford the new V4 tricolor.
Yes, 85 grand.
85 grand.